Yes, my name is Wang Botao. I'm the Deputy Director of the CGTN French channel and also the producer of the film Learners from the Top of the World.
Extreme energy drink.
The film I've brought you today presents the ordinary lives of 6 middle school students across 3 cities in Xizang, seen through the eyes of a French director. In terms of a visual style, we pursued a realistic, sketch-like approach, deliberately avoiding manufactured drama. This is because the documentary's primary goal is to present the authentic, everyday reality of junior high school students. As the film comes to Nepal for its screening, we, the creators, certainly hope that the audience will get as much as possible from this experience. First, information. I hope that after watching, you will understand what life is like for today's middle schoolers in Xizang, and what it's like on campus and at home, and what kind of joys, worries, and dreams they have. And secondly, is the resonance. Since Nepal is Xizang's neighbor and the two places share many cultural similarities, I believe the Nepali audience will find a deeper resonance watching the lives of their neighbors' children than audience from other regions might. And a third is the emotional value, because the film is shot from the immersive perspective of a French director, and there are many interesting moments in the interactions between him and the children and their families, leaving plenty of laughters and even tears. However, there is also the genuine sadness of parting when eventually he says goodbye to these kids. It is the kind of sincere human connection that we hope to convey to our viewers. Yes, our schedule has been unfortunately incredibly packed these past few days, so we've been shuttling between screening venues. We haven't had much time to truly walk the streets and soak in the atmosphere of the city. However, just as you said, even in a short time we've been here, we have noticed many similarities with Xizang. Take the custom of offering kata scarves, for example. Just like in Xizang, our Nepali friends greeted us with kata scarves upon our arrival. However, I noticed that the kata here seems a bit different in terms of material and color. They appear to be more diverse in fabric and much more colorful. In my experience in Xizang, the traditional ones are typically white silk. Also, whenever we walk down to the street, we can easily spot religious structures like stupas and temples, which are also very common sights in Xizang. And there is also one funny thing I want to share with you. I'm not sure it's true, but I heard that there is a local specialty called momo, a type of small dumpling or bun. This actually reminds me of a scene in my documentary. There's a moment where the French director, Jacques, is trying to make Tibetan food with a girl and her family. When Jacques asked what they're making, the girl tells him, in Tibetan, we call this momo. So I wonder if that's the same thing we're talking about. You are right. In fact, the high altitude was indeed a massive challenge during the production of this documentary. The average altitude across our filming locations was 3,500 meters. And in Jikaze, it reaches 4,000 meters. Our cinematographers often had to stop just to catch their breath and take a rest. Another major concern was our director. He's a 67-year-old Frenchman. We were extremely worried about his physical condition at the start. To ensure everything went smoothly, he even underwent high-altitude simulation training in a laboratory in Paris before coming here. And our final challenge was the geography. The 3 schools we filmed are located in Linzhi, Jikaze, and Lhasa, which are very far apart. To avoid exhausting the crew, the filming was actually split into 3 separate phases, completed during the spring, summer, and autumn seasons respectively. Indeed, the Western world has harbored a deep fascination with the Himalayan region since the colonial era, and this interest has only intensified entering the 2020s. However, when it comes to artistic creation, I personally believe that we, the people of the Himalayan, need to be wary of a specific trap that is pandering excessively to the Western interest. The reason I see this risk is that many Westerners' interest for this region, rooted in the same perspective held for centuries, which focus largely on the exoticism, the ancient mysteries, and the oriental spirituality of the region. But the times are changing, and the society is progressing. If we only focus on these themes when telling the story, Himalayan stories, on the stage, on the international stage, we not only fail to present a complete picture of the region, but also risk further deepening Western misconceptions. There's a popular term in China's contemporary economics called supply-side structural reform. I think we need a similar reform in Himalayan film and television production. We should increase the proportion of works that reflect modern Nepal and modern Xizang. The Nepal International Film Festival is a fantastic platform for exchange, bringing in filmmakers from all over the world together and creating many new possibilities for future collaboration. Yesterday, while participating in a program on Nepal television, I met an American professor of anthropology who is a jury member and for this festival, as well as an Iranian French director, another jury member, and a truly talented filmmaker. After the show, we exchanged contact information and discussed a lot about the potential for the future cooperation. Of course, speaking about film cooperation between China and Nepal, since this time my team principally brought here, the documentaries produced by TV. So we haven't yet have occasions to meet the film industry members, but we have already had a lot of chances to meet our TV peers, and with whom we've discussed a lot of the future cooperation. I think on this side, again, NIFF is really a fantastic chance for everyone. When I think about the next 20 years, I believe the most monumental project between China and Nepal will be the China-Nepal Railway. I see this future railway becoming a new point of connection for economic, commercial, and people-to-people exchange between our two nations. Countless new stories of interactions will emerge around it. Since this is poised to be perhaps the most challenging cross-border railway project in human history, I believe that simply documenting the construction of this great project would make an incredible companion film. Not to mention that long before this railway spans the Himalayas, the people on both sides of the mountains have already shared a history filled with stories that have been passed down for millennia. These include the story of Princess Brikuti traveling far to marry Songtsan Gambu, and the tale of Arnigo journeying to the Yuan dynasty's capital to build the White Stupa Temple. Just thinking about it is incredibly exciting.
Global IME Bank, Sabai Ka Lagi Bank.